Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, one and all. We are grateful. Sun is shining, it's warming up. Please do not be deceived. Just because it's warm now doesn't mean it'll be warm later. Because guess what? It's crystal clear by the weekend, it's going to be cold again. Going to be some snow, going to be some sleet. So let us not be deceived into thinking that winter is over because trust me, it's not. But our God is able to do above and beyond all we could ask or think. And for that, we bless his holy name. Jemison, bless your heart. Kathy, good to see you. And so we are grateful and thankful. Getting ready to go into the weekend. Um, just excited about what God is doing, about how God is doing it. Charlesetta, how are you this morning? Minister Sarah, Carletta, bless your heart. We are thankful to God for you, one and all. Elder Carter, how you be? How you be? How you be? And so again, we are grateful and thankful for each and every one of you who are and shall participate on this wonderful morning. And Saunders, praying that you are doing well. I'm getting ready to post um, that the men's prayer breakfast is sold out. Not bad, huh? Deborah Toomer. And I'm just like, wow, I'm so grateful. Andrea, how are you? Sister Rains, how are you doing in DC? And so we're grateful. Yep, getting ready to do it, Chaplain Hearns. God is he is good. Carolyn, how you feeling? Just wanted to make sure you were doing all right. I am. I also got to say this that I am grateful for some of the teachers in the alternative school that will be bringing at least 9 or 10 young people with them, and we are very, very excited about that. I just got one more phone call I'm waiting on, and then we'll have to shut the door because that would be as far as we can go. Laverne, bless you. Stephanie, good to have you. Good to have you here. Good to have you with us on this day. And so, as some have already done, if you would be kind enough to share, that would be absolutely wonderful. And we will proceed from there. Cora, I saw the Lord did it again. So that's a reason to shout. Dean, my friend, bless your heart. Thank you so much for being here. We'll tell Cora, not the Cora that's on here, but the other Cora, I said hello at Black's funeral home. And so we are grateful and thankful. Valerie, how are you? Nancy, good mornings to you. And so we're thankful that everyone is here with us. I am looking so forward to this new series that I'm going to be dealing with. No more excuses. That ought to be interesting. I'm getting ready to put together a flyer that's going to be out there. Pastor Stanford, my friend, how are you? Hoping and praying that you're holding on and hanging in there, okay? And we're kind of looking forward to that because as we enter into this battle, when we enter into this level of spiritual warfare, we got to remember what God has equipped us to do. And maybe what we don't feel He has equipped us to do, He has provided equipment for us to work with that will work with us in order to accomplish His perfect will. And so, what you? Oh, that's right. I forgot you. Right over in the office. And so we're glad that all is here. Thank you, Janice, for letting us know all is well. Sabrina, Gladys, bless y'all's hearts for being here. Bless y'all's hearts. Okay. Keep Katrina out of trouble while you over there. All right. That would be wonderful. Doe, bless you. Thank you for being here. I need to keep my wits about myself. You need to keep your wits about yourself as we enter into the battle. I watched the news briefing. Denise of the Friesen, the news briefing where Hillary Clinton went up to the microphone and in a very powerfully calm demeanor. Veronica, thank you for being here. A very calm demeanor said, I'm paraphrasing. I really haven't a clue as to why they brought me in for this hearing. I didn't know him. I've never been anywhere around him. I've never been to his island. I've never been to his home. And from what I understand, she ate them alive. And that's probably the reason why they didn't want to have a public hearing. They needed to do it in private so that they could talk about aliens and pizza stuff and all of that kind of food, because the people who should be on stand to testify of their deeds and their devilish activities are nowhere to be found. Sandra, bless your heart. Thank you for being here. And the funny thing about it is, I noticed something about her. She had this calm about her. Because, see, if you're going to go into the enemy's camp and take back what the enemy has taken away from you, you can't go in there helter-skelter. You can't go in there yelling and screaming and losing your mind. You must be meticulous in your approaching in order for you to be able to take back what the enemy has stolen. Timothy, thank you so much for being here. And so what do I have to have? And that's the question to the whole thing. What do I need? What is it? What is it when I'm going to face some of the most maddening moments in my life? What do I need? And when I talk about that, hey Thea, I'm not talking about bills and stuff. I'm talking about dealing with spiritual warfare. I'm talking about dealing with spiritual warfare. I'm talking about enemies in high places. What are you going to do? What do you need in order that you stay cool, calm, and collected? And deodorant will not provide it. Well, LMA dear, how are you? There is something that God will give you that will enable you to stay calm. My friend, how are you, Roland? Good to see you this morning. God will impart to you what you need to go through. And again, I think I said this on yesterday. Nobody in the Bible, Roland Smith, nobody in the Bible has ever gone without challenge. Nobody in the Bible has ever gone without dealing with issues and problems. Barbara Foos, nobody in the Bible has an exempt card from trouble, trials, and tribulations. Sheely, bless your heart for being here. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying, because we think that once we come to Jesus, we've got a get out of jail card. Well, we do have, to a certain extent, okay, a get out of jail card. Hey, Kim, how are you? But what we have to understand is, in order to get out of jail, you first must go to jail. Because you don't need a get out of if you ain't never been in. And so, tell you what happened yesterday. I went and got that shot, that long needle, got that done, and did what I needed to do, and came home ate a little bit. Lady Harrison had gone. She had some running around to do, and went to Cheesecake Factory, and I got she got me Carolyn Richardson got me uh, some jambalaya. I don't like shrimp, so double chicken. Didn't eat none of it. Now it's in the refrigerator. The salad is in the refrigerator. I went to bed early and was happy. But now, out of all I got to do, out of all that's going on, out of all of the madness that's running around all over the place, and I'm trying to, deal with all of the stuff that I need to do, I said, I'm going to sleep. You know why? Now, I did have a little bit of medication, which was a proponent of relaxation. But when you're in pain, and they told you ready for this? They told me, Valerie, that it's going to take between 3 to 6 weeks before this really kicks in. And then if I'm not happy with what's happening, come back and they'll go ahead and give me the cortisone shot as well. And I said, nah, I'll just deal with where I'm at because I have something. And what I have does not cause me to negate the necessity of healthcare intervention. I need us to get, some of y'all are getting it. Some of y'all are getting, I see y'all putting it in the chat. I have peace. Before I can put on the whole armor of God, I need peace. Before I can go into the enemy's camp, I need peace. Because here's what the enemy is good at. Let me see how much time. Here's what the enemy is good at. He wants you confused. If you look at the president of this country, he is the author of confusion. He does everything in his power to make sure that there's so many other moving parts and stupidity and ignorances that are going on all over the place that you actually do not pay attention to what's really going on. But I got peace. Isaiah 26:3. Isaiah 26. Y'all getting it? Y'all getting it? I'm listen. I was in bed and I shocked Lady Harrison. She's like, whoa, probably around about 8:15. I ain't even care. Didn't watch no television. Didn't do anything. I'm finishing up my sermon for Sunday. Gelada, somebody need to talk to me. Finishing up my sermon for Sunday because I'm doing this series, so I'll be in different parts of the Bible, putting stuff together. And I woke up around. Hey, Vernice. I woke up around about 2:00, did what I normally do my little readings and sit in my office, do it. 3:00, I'm back in bed, ready to roll, waiting for the alarm clock to go off. And the enemy wants us befuddled. The enemy wants us confused. The enemy wants us crazy. The enemy wants us screaming and yelling and acting like banshees. That's what he wants us to do, because he knows if he can get us confused, he can get us off track. And if he can get us off track, he can cause us to miss out on the provisions that God has for you. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Oh, Sabrina, I'm gonna tell you something. Wow, I got to put some doorknobs on the cabinets downstairs, trying to get stuff in. And I just ordered them, and they said, "Oh, they're ready for you to pick up." I wish I'd have known that. I'd have picked them up here in Boardman instead of where I live. But I got to come back tomorrow. We got a rehearsal that we got to deal with, making sure that our ministers and our deaconess are where they need to be to do it. We need to do it in a very smooth and orderly fashion. He will, not you. He will, not your ingenuity, not your capability. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him. That doesn't mean that you can't watch television and be stayed. Oh, that means you can't listen to some good music that ain't nasty and perverted and be stayed. That doesn't mean that you can't watch the game or some movie or any and not be stayed. Mind has to be stayed on him. I think one of the things that really messes the body of Christ up more than anything else is we have gotten public prayer mixed up with private intercession. Carol, bless you. See, Jaleesa, we think that to talk to God, we've got to act like the deacons or the preachers that's before everybody praying. That ain't what it is. There is not a moment in my life other than when I'm asleep that I am not in communion with God, even when I'm wrong, even when I'm doing wrong, even when I'm not acting right. I'm still in relationship. I'm still in communion and communication with him. How in the world am I going to get convicted if I'm not talking to him? How in the world am I going to be redirected if I'm not having a conversation with him? He'll keep you in perfect peace because your mind is stayed on him, because he trusts in you. Man, who else can you trust like you trust God? Wait a minute. Is there another human being that can do for you what God can do, Ethel? Is there? And I'm not talking about these temporal pleasure things that we do. I'm talking about somebody who will be there in your dumbest of hours, the most stupidest thing that you could ever do on this side of eternity, and he still stays right by your side. He's there. Our problem is we get so bent out of shape that we act like he's not, and that he doesn't want to do that. Gelada. And what you've got to see, if we are going to win this battle, if we are going to come through more than a conqueror, if we are going to take back what the enemy has stole from us, then you got to learn how to stay under control. There's a series of little snippets that are going on Facebook. I don't know if you've paid any attention. Yeah, I done took a little bit of time. I'm gonna try to be done in 2 minutes. And the snippets are designed to show people just how powerfully ignorant racism is. And so you got all of these white people that are yelling and screaming at people because they might not be dressed in uniform, or they may not be whatever, or they may not have their judge robe on, or whatever the case may be, and they screaming and yelling, "You don't belong." Or in the bank, he coming with some blue jeans and a t-shirt on, "You don't belong here. This is not where you belong." You know, they throw drinks on them, they throw food on them, they kick stuff around, they do all of that other kind of stuff. And I bet you cash money, most of us ain't paid no. Oh, Gelada, I'm getting ready to leap over this desk when I tell you this. If you pay attention to those being assaulted, they don't never lose their composure. You want to know why? Because they know who they are. They know that their position in life is greater than the people who are trying to mess over them or tell them they're not qualified to be there. And I know Gelada can testify to this as well. When we go in as African Americans in predominantly white political areas and all of this, "Hey, Daryl, how are you, sir?" All of that kind of stuff happens. And they look at us and they say, "What's them? You know what's here? What they here for?" And yet still we get in the midst of their moment and outmaneuver them through the capabilities, not only of the Holy Ghost, but the fact that we have the ability to navigate stuff that they don't think we're qualified for. And then here's what happens. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna Rosetta Carter, Elder Carter. I'm gonna get in trouble. Y'all don't mind. I'll take a moment. This is necessary. I was one of the higher ups in the Gamaliel Foundation some years ago. And when I say higher ups, I mean I was up there. And there were some things that went on that we found out about that I didn't like. I don't think there's certain things that you do and then you do whatever you want to do instead of doing what you're supposed to do. And I didn't like, and I left. John Powell says you don't leave a table of power until you got a better table to go to. So I didn't have another table. I created one. And so, being who I am, I decided to go to one of their meetings. And everybody and their grandmother, I had not been there in a few years. Everybody and their grandmother, he's here, he's here. Now, I didn't ask for all of that. And the person came up to me and said, oh, you think you somebody. You think you Moses and part in the Red Sea. When you showed up, everything was bowed down to you. I said, no, that's not it. I said, that's not it at all. I said, what you need to understand is I've always worked with people for their betterment, and I've never taken advantage of anybody for my own. Rosetta Carter, I'm sorry, Elder Carter, do you remember when that happened? I came into that session and everybody and their grandmother stopped what they were doing and came over there to talk to me. Trina, bless your heart. I have never, I have never mistreated people intentionally. I have never gone out of my way to try to use anybody the whole time I've been alive. I wasn't raised that way. I have never, ever, ever, ever taken advantage of anything because I'm too scared of what might happen to me. They got so angry that they turned, who do you think you are? And walked away. And can I tell you something? I didn't give a good doggone about none of it. You know why? Gelada, Elder Carter, for those of us that have been in those political realms, and even Daryl, I think you can relate to this as well. Some of the others may be able to. I just don't know it. When you know who you are, and when you know what you have to offer, and when you know they need you more than you need them, is Pastor Stanford still on here? I wasn't sure if he was still on here or not. And that's the thing that you got to recognize and understand. Why would I get mad over the fact that somebody thinks less of me than what I am? Here's what I tell young people. And I'm gonna go. I didn't say that. You know I'm a Baptist preacher, don't you? I said I'm gonna go about 4 times. I appreciate that. Hey, Daryl Jones. If somebody calls my mother a B, I have a choice. If I know my mother is not a B, I'm not reacting to your stupidity. Why? You're not calling my mother out of her name because her name is not that. If somebody says you MF, if I know I'm not that, I don't have to respond to you. Guess what? When you got peace, When you, yeah, you know what, Carletta, when you got peace, you call me anything. Now, before I knew who I was, I'd have kicked your tail. Before I knew who I was, I'd have tried to take you out. I'd try to shot you, cut you, or kill you. But since Pentecost, since I saw Carletta put that in there, since Pentecost, man, I'm not gonna let you tick me off. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you mess with me. I'm not gonna do that. Because guess what? And Sabrina, you better hear this. You better hear this. Okay. There you go, Sabrina. And that's it, Ayana. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Listen, man, love y'all. Be careful on the weekend. Don't you dare think that this is it and all the panacea has showed up and warm weather is here. It's going to be cold and snowy on the weekend. I pray that these lessons this week have been a blessing to you. I pray that you recognize clearly who you are. I'm getting ready to put this little flyer together. And because you know what? No more excuses. Don't get me in trouble by not being at your church. Or don't get me in trouble by being in church and you looking down on your phone. Don't you do that. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning. Man, love y'all so much. May God bless you. May He keep you. Is our prayer.